Hello, rogues and witches. Why do you only have a Tanto? Because I actually just hate swapping weapons. That's it. I don't like swapping weapons. It's slow and clunky, sometimes it's unresponsive and you have to hit it again. On Yasuke it's fine, because he has a skill that enables swap combos, so you can weapon switch with him mid-attack, which is smooth enough, but on Naoe I find swapping weapons texturally unpleasant for my brain to engage with. Throughout my playthrough, I found this trinket that gives me an excuse to only have a Tanto equipped. Plus 15% to all stats is enough of a boost to make me feel comfortable unequipping my second weapon, since I hate swapping to it anyway, and Tanto already gives me what I want to play with. Health is a stat, damage is a stat, bleed buildup and affliction damage are both stats. We don't have a stat sheet in game, so I am taking it on faith that all of these are being increased when I'm using this trinket, because we don't actually have a way to be sure, but I certainly feel a difference when I'm fighting. Bleed is my favorite element or status in many games that have it. As a rogue and someone who loves assassins, thieves, and rogues across fiction, inflicting bleed is the kind of fantasy I love to access, and when a game lets me do it, I will. In many games, bleed is also very strong. In AC Shadows, for example, not only does it damage chunk the enemy's health every time the buildup explodes, it makes them take a heavy flinch or stagger whenever it happens, just like breaking their armor would. So now we have three aspects of myself that are defining my decisions. I don't like swapping weapons, I like bleed, and I love the Tanto. Knives and daggers are a great rogue weapon, no further words. Before moving on to the Tanto itself, engraved perk on my trinket is 50% chance to refill a tool on kill. This makes my gameplay much faster and more fluid. It also provides some dynamism since I don't always know when it's going to activate, and sometimes I might make a different decision if I get a refill at a critical moment. Gameplay speed and gameplay pacing are elements I value highly in a stealth game, and especially in Assassin's Creed, a series often about being able to move quickly and decisively through guarded space. It's also why I don't usually tag people anymore. Tagging guards takes time to do, while an eagle vision activation and a quick look around lets me see everything near me, and the level 2 eagle vision lasts for quite some time. Tagging enemies also puts additional visual data on my screen, which I don't like, and may make me fixate on enemies that aren't even relevant to me, since they're nowhere near me. So again, I value not taking longer than I need to in order to operate in a restricted area, and not engaging with things that I don't find fun or need to know. Scarlet Fate is the only legendary Tanto I've found that applies bleed. That is the reason I use it. Legendary weapons typically have higher stats across the board than epics, but if I find a purple whose random rolls are better than this one or has a gold stat that is higher, then I'll change to it. I don't actually know what increased impact means, to be honest, but I suspect this Tanto flinches or applies slightly more hit stun to enemies whenever I damage them, which is nice because this entire weapon type doesn't really produce strong hit reactions from struck enemies. That's the intended weakness and part of how it's balanced. It's also why bleed is good on Tantos, because the stagger from the bleed pop is flinching enemies more times per fight and helping you control them in a way the other two weapons don't really struggle with. So, what are Tantos actually great at? Tantos are great at affliction buildup, in my experience. They attack very quickly, and while our individual hits don't do that much damage, we reach those affliction procs quite fast, which is another reason to enjoy bleed over raw physical. I assume affliction buildup is one of the stats increased by my trinket, and I assume affliction damage is also increased by it. Again, they are both stats, so it's reasonable to suspect they're being boosted by this. My Tanto's engraved perk is a stealth recovery tool. Shadow Piercer chunks 2 health segments when cast now. It basically turns my skill into assassination damage, so it essentially gives me an alternate hit in hand to cast on weaker enemies that have 2 segments or fewer. The nice thing about this Shadow Piercer engraving is it deals its 2 segments of damage correlated with each of the ability's hits. So it deals 1 segment on the throw, then another segment when you hit and blade the enemy after running up to them. That means weak enemy archetypes that only have 1 health segment, I can basically just ranged assassinate them by throwing my knife at them from any distance, including when they've already detected me or are running away. This is also amazing in combat, obviously. Hit in hand is also obvious. If you're using a Tanto and you're a stealth player, you are using this skill because it just deletes anybody. The last skill I've recently started using is Heighten Senses from the Shinobi tree. It's very strong, the fantasy of it is extremely rogue/assassin, and I don't think I'm ever gonna take it off. It's like if Assassin's Focus from Mirage actually had a skill gap to using it and let you create insane setups. It's good for ghosting and movement too, which means it's the rare non-damage skill in the game, though it does have a damage component. Casting it lets me do one more segment to anyone with a stealth attack, but at this point that's overkill. My armor is very simple and there's nothing to talk about. It's Master Assassin Hood and Master Assassin Robes. You get them from finishing Naoe's part of the main story, and I just have a bunch of assassination damage segments still on both of them. At this point, I don't think I've met any enemy, boss, or target that can survive my Hidden Blade, not that it matters because I'm basically done the story anyway. So yeah, that is why I only use a Tanto. This is not a guide, use this to build on and change whatever you want. I may try playing in different ways eventually, but right now this feels really good and feels really me. The Tanto that was recently in the exchange has a really cool skill, a really cool perk, but it has no Affliction. So I may explore this at a later date, but for right now this playstyle I've already got going on feels really, really good to me. So yeah, thanks for watching, may fog shroud you, may stars light your way, and may the night keep you safe.